Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So if you are new here, my name is Sana and I just make girly content for the girls. And in today's video we are going to be talking about healing and self-care as a brown woman and what that entails. Let's be real, healing does not look the same for everyone, and as brown women we carry a lot. We carry cultural expectations, religious expectations. We have to be strong. We have to kind of build up this front and this wall and be kind of hard in a world where we should actually be quite soft and gentle. We should be allowed to do that, but because of the world we live in, unfortunately we have had to be kind of tough and strong, and which can honestly take its toll, which is why I wanted to do this video today about healing and kind of how to get to a place where you do feel soft in a world that tries to make you feel very tough. This one is for all the women out there that are going through something and want to start their healing journey and just kind of want to get over some of these barriers. And obviously as a brown woman, you guys can probably relate. We go through a lot of trauma, so yeah, this video is for you guys. Growing up, a lot of us didn't talk about mental health. A lot of us didn't really know what those words meant or what good mental health is. Now usually good mental health is meant to be taught to us by our parents and our caregivers, but sometimes in different cultures, unfortunately, that just doesn't happen. So we don't really grow up understanding that we should have good mental health and how to kind of keep up with it, right? And honestly, like in some of our cultures, mental health has only kind of come about recently in the last couple of years, that we actually kind of now sit down and talk about it, which is great, but it also kind of leaves us in a lurch of some of us are in our late 20s, some of us in our 30s, early 20s, teenagehood, and we're kind of now figuring it out, unfortunately, and we haven't been able to have that opportunity as a child to actually build good mental health. Personally, for me, growing up, how I grew up, we were always kind of told to like, oh, if you're feeling down, like go pray. Oh, it's because you didn't clean your room. Or no shade to our parents, but they probably said something like, oh, it's because I told you to do this and then you didn't listen to me and that's why you're feeling down. So we get told a lot about these types of things and that's why mental health is bad. But honestly, that's just generally not the case. I feel like as a brown woman, I was always kind of raised to be a caretaker, unfortunately, and not a care receiver. And I know a lot of young women can obviously relate to me on that. I am one of the oldest daughters in the house. I kind of had to help, me and my older sister, we kind of helped take care of our family and their kind of needs. And with that comes a lot of like self-guilt and then guilt for everyone else. So if you do something nice for yourself, if you do something for your mental well-being, if it means you can't do something for someone else, you feel immensely guilty. I also feel guilty when I couldn't do a lot of things for my siblings or for my parents, but essentially that isn't my role and that isn't my job, but you still feel guilty when it comes down to those things. And honestly, overall, you just have to be really strong and keep it together for your families. Again, like our parents go through a lot, especially like being British Pakistani, like our parents go through a lot in this country. And yeah, we kind of have to feel like as the oldest daughters, like, okay, we've got to support them so they're okay and that our younger siblings are okay. And then we kind of tend to forget about ourselves, which is honestly not okay. And we kind of put on this mask that we are okay and we are strong, but like, no girl, you're having a breakdown and you know it and it's pending. So yeah, let's kind of talk about healing. Let's talk about how we can kind of move forward and enter this new age and heal and become better versions of ourselves, do self-care, take care of our needs without having to kind of even rely on other people, to be fair, just to kind of rely on ourselves. That we've talked about a little bit of context, we can talk about what healing actually looks like. So like I said in the intro, healing isn't linear, so it's not the same for everybody. Everybody goes through healing stages differently and everybody has different ways of processing and healing, right? Healing isn't linear. It could literally mean that one day, yep, you're doing all the good habits and you're journaling, and then the next day you might be crying into your pillow. And that's absolutely normal, because when you first start your healing journey, you're actually dealing with and processing a lot of the traumas that you've been through, and then you're trying to kind of heal through that whilst also then trying to create healthy habits so you can be happy and then obviously move on to the next stages of your life, right? But that's absolutely fine. And in the beginning stages, that's how it might be. And then as you kind of get older and as you start to implement these healthy habits and you heal some of your trauma, you will start to feel better, and eventually your days will become probably more happier than sad. But again, it's okay to feel these emotions. It's okay to go through healing processes. It's okay to go through therapy, girl. If you want to go through therapy, or if you just want to journal, you can just journal as well. That's absolutely fine. Whatever kind of tips and tricks can help you. And obviously comment below if you do need some kind of advice and tips on like how to go through that journey, then let me know. I can either do a video about it or I can just kind of reply to you guys in the comments. So once you've realized that kind of like healing isn't linear and that you are going to go through these different stages and it may not look like healing of what your friends went through, then you can start to understand like, okay, I need to start setting boundaries with certain people. With my family, I need to start setting boundaries. And guys, this sounds scary and bad, but it's really not bad. Like, it's literally, setting boundaries literally means you're telling someone, oh, I didn't like this because it made me feel hurt or it made me feel a certain way, so I don't like that anymore and I would appreciate if you didn't do it. And then if it is done, then unfortunately there will be like a consequence to it, because listen, now we're moving into this new age. We're not going to be dealing with people that like to cross our boundaries or like to test us, because unfortunately that just means that person doesn't care about you. Because if they cared about you, they wouldn't want to cross your boundaries. Now, they might make a mistake and they might just do it accidentally and then apologize and be like, you know what, I'm not going to do that again. I'm getting used to like your new boundaries. Bear with me. And that is absolutely fine because you're communicating, right? Now that is essential. Setting boundaries is super essential for the new age that you're about to go into. And when you guys are talking about boundaries, it is really good to start that open communication and say, actually, this hurt me and this is how I want to go moving forward with this. And you don't have to apologize. A lot of people start their boundaries by saying, oh, sorry, actually, could you not do this? Don't apologize. You shouldn't be the one apologizing if something has hurt you. So that's just a little bit about setting boundaries. And honestly, guys, we're talking about all these serious things, but healing is also about including happiness in your life and saying to yourself that you choose happiness every single day. Or, you know, it's words of affirmations. Like, you wake up and you're like, even if you feel like a little bit not into the day, if you just say to yourself, actually, I choose happiness today, and just go through the day to try to be happy, implement little things that make you happy, dress good, put your makeup on, get that book that you like, or get back into reading, or get back into some of your hobbies that you used to like and that you kind of left because you were going through a sad period or you were going through something in life. Choose to be soft. A lot of people during your healing era will try you. They will try you, but we're not trying to bring that old Sana back. We're not trying to bring that old you back that's going to fight and argue, get upset. So just choose to be soft. Don't choose to kind of entertain these people that may be trying to attack you or that may be trying to, you know, break you out of your character. Just leave that in the past. Try and be soft, not for them, but for yourself. If you choose that for yourself, then you'll just feel so much better. You won't feel your cortisol levels rising, your stress levels, your blood pressure, and all of that good stuff. We're just trying to stay calm. We're trying to stay soft. So yeah, that is another tip in terms of what healing can look like for you. Now, saying that, guys, I have also been in my reading era, and I have been reading Fourth Wing. Finally, obviously, you guys might not know, but I love fantasy books. I love romance, fantasy, and historical books. That's kind of like my genre. And when I was a kid, I used to be a big reader. I actually used to go to like mobile libraries. So again, look, it's about getting back into these old habits, these good habits, and just doing things that make you happy, right? Always hear me yapping about like self-care and doing things to kind of make yourself feel good, right? So for me, self-care is a big part of healing and creating that kind of softness within myself, because it helps me calm down in a lot of situations, because usually I get quite angry quite quickly. But fortunately now in my life that I'm a little bit older I have kind of more self-control, and I feel like self-care has really helped me kind of calm down and honestly just maneuver through life a lot better and kind of present myself a lot better. There's kind of two types of self-care that you guys need to know about. Yes, you have the outer self-care, which I like to delve into. Like my outer self-care, I like to do weekly resets. So whether that's on a Saturday or Sunday, depends when I'm working from home. I genuinely like to do face masks once a week. My turmeric face masks, they are a staple. I like to oil my hair to make sure my hair is ready and soft for the week. And then I like to do like a full body pamper, shave, exfoliate, all that good stuff. So then I feel good and then I feel ready for the day, and that I can present myself out and feel confident and feel good. And that is all about self-care and self-love. So I do that in terms of my outer care. And I do a couple of other things as well, but just quickly, that is what I like to do with my outer self-care. The last 10 to 15 years, I really have been focusing on that inner self-care, which basically means that it's down to the foods that I eat. I know there's certain foods that will make me feel horrible. It will affect my mental health. It will affect my skin. It will affect everything, and it just make me feel icky and gunky. So I avoid those foods and I just eat nice and clean, because I know if I eat nice and clean in the inside, I'll feel good, I'll feel calm, I won't feel agitated, I won't feel like I'm having a sugar spike or anything like that. So foods, I do words of affirmations all the time. Like I literally tell myself, nope, you're beautiful, you're okay, you're doing well. Even if on the inside I'm not, I will never ever say it out loud, because literally what you say out loud dictates your whole day. Like, for example, I could be having really negative thoughts and really bad thoughts, but I'm not acting on them, right? I'm not doing anything to like activate those negative thoughts into my life. So I don't actually need to acknowledge them. I can literally just say out loud, no, I feel good. Change the narrative, switch it up. Nobody will realize. Nobody else knows that I'm having negative thoughts, right? And that's the same with you. If you're having negative thoughts, like, trust me, like, no one knows. So you can literally just put it out there, like, actually, no, I'm not having negative thoughts. And then just watch. Just watch how your brain just switches. It also comes down to the little things. Like, you don't have to reply back to that text right now. I know they're your friends, I know they're your family, and you love and care about them. But guys, you can literally text them in a few hours. Right now you're busy, or you're doing things for yourself, or you're working, and that text can just wait. It's okay. If you text back in a couple hours, that's absolutely fine. Obviously, if it is an important text and you do need to text back straight away, that's fine, do that. But just know that inside, like, you don't have to do it straight away. That's absolutely fine. No one's going to judge you for it. If they care about you and they're actually like your good friends and family, they won't care either. So just text back later, it's fine. What I also started doing was actually booking the appointments and making sure that I've got my life and my calendar in order. Because once that was in order, I also felt really calm and really put together, and like I had my shit together basically. So that is something else I would always highly recommend doing. You probably work really hard, whether you're studying, you're at school, you're working, you're 9 to 5, or you have a business. Like, we work really hard, especially as like brown women. We work so hard for our families and for ourselves. So we need to make sure that we give ourselves like our evenings, or like a day to yourself. Give yourself a day where you can actually do that self-care. You can kind of sit down, do parts of your healing, or incorporate these things within your daily life, so then you're not feeling burnt out and tired. Because it's in healing, it takes time, and you need to kind of make that time for yourself. Now, if you're working so hard and you're not making time for yourself, you're going to dip, and then the healing isn't going to work. That means you haven't picked healing. That means you've picked that fast lifestyle, which we don't want to do. We're moving into a new age, like I said. We don't want to do that. Another really big one is actually just cutting down time on social media. Now look guys, we all like a little scroll here and there, like who doesn't, right? But I just feel like, especially in the last 2 years for me, I have been scrolling like a bit too much. Like, it's a bit too much. So what I've done is I've just said to myself, right, during my morning routine, like when I'm getting up and I'm getting ready, I am just gonna cut social media out. Up until I'm done, like I've done eating breakfast, I've done all my self-care bits, I've drank my electrolytes, I've showered, I've gotten ready for the day, then I'm happy to go on my phone just to check my emails, check my texts, anything important, and then I will try and get on with my day. I'll listen to music, get on with my day, say my daily prayers and affirmations. I will only go on like social media during my breaks. If I have work breaks or kind of intermissions throughout my day, that's when I'll kind of go onto social media. And even then, I just try and cut it down to about like 15 minutes here and there. There's no need to be on there for prolonged times. I don't want to keep taking in a lot of the negative stuff that we see on TikTok and Instagram, because the feed is not our friend. Like, they're just going to show you what you're taking in, and if you're saying you're not interested in that, or if you're not kind of like engaging, then it will go away. But like, if you are engaging and you keep scrolling, then they're just going to keep coming up. It's going to affect you again quite negatively. I would say, guys, honestly, you need to like replace it with something. So I replace a lot of my social media time with just reading. Now that can be your fantasy books, that can be your fun books, but it can also be educational books and things like that. So then you actually feel like you're being productive, you're learning something, and you're moving forward. Like recently I was reading the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, because it's all about kind of financial help, and how as like ethnic women and like just ethnic communities, how we kind of deal with money a little bit differently to other people, and how we can kind of overcome that. So that was really, really good for me, being obviously from an ethnic background, instead of going on social media. So that's what I was doing. So that's just a little tip for you guys, but you can kind of replace it with anything. Replace it with journaling, replace it with, actually my husband or my partner is going to come over and we're going to have a chat, or I'm going to kind of learn different love language techniques from my partner or from my family. There you go. Last but not least, self-care. It's about doing the healing even when no one is clapping for you, even when no one is saying, oh, you're doing a good job, because this isn't for them and this is for us. So it's doing all the hard work, and it's doing all this work even when no one is there to say that you're doing a good job. If you are a woman watching this video, or a brown woman watching this video, then please do subscribe and comment down below something that you felt like was helpful in this video and that you're going to take away from here. Obviously, look, we all deserve love and happiness, and we deserve to kind of heal our traumas and go through into a new age feeling happier and more confident with ourselves. And this is what this channel is all about. So if you want to join this little community, please do subscribe. Everyone is welcome here. And yeah, hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.